You're listening to Oilersnation Radio, presented by the Nation Network. Subscribe for free on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Oilersnation Radio episode 56,000. Why did we get rid of that intro? That was
275. We originally got rid of it because it didn't meet the sponsor requirements.
Oh, we had a sponsor in there.
We lost every sponsor we have.
Yeah.
Just kidding. So we're allowed to go back to that one. Voiced by Lisa Evans.
Shout out to Lisa Evans.
It is funny how it says iTunes, but now we just call it Apple Podcasts.
Does it say? Oh, well, Rick will appreciate that.
You're listening to Oilersnation Radio, presented by the Nation Network. Subscribe for free on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You got to pay $1.29 to listen to every episode of this podcast.
Speaking of which, happy birthday to Rick. He's not here
because he's
probably paying $1.29 per song on iTunes.
He's still the other guy who's on our pod. Nick Alberga's joining us.
I'm replacing Rick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rick with Nick.
And like within the last year, he was still, he wasn't on Spotify or Apple Music. He was paying $1.29 a song still.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I didn't even know that was a thing that still happened.
I still have LimeWire.
Yeah.
Like on your computer.
Yeah.
No. They kept it up for just Rick. They kept that part of the system up.
Oh shit, that guy from Memphis is ordering songs again.
There's still revenue to be coming from this, you guys. Keep
All right,
it going.
Nation Radio. Dan's here, Liam's here, Tyler's here. We got Nick Alberga coming in from the Leafs Nation and dailyfaceoff.com. Subbing in for Rick. It's his birthday. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Boo.
I know. Well, you've got issues with there. At least you're wearing green, though. You got the spirit.
Oh, I forgot about that. I usually wear my England shirt.
That's what you told me yesterday, so I was surprised to see you in a Daily Face-Off hoodie.
Well, I was scrambling this morning.
Yeah, you had a big day yesterday. We'll get there. Dan and Tyler, though, they're wearing green. Nick and I mean, I'm not Irish. I don't care.
I just never understood it. There is multiple Saint days. Anyone know when St. George's Day is?
Yes. No.
April 23rd, the day before my birthday. Every year.
To be fair, I also don't really understand the St. Patrick's Day thing. Like, I'm telling you, once these people...
You do hate snakes, though.
I do hate snakes. Yep. But once these people figure out you can get drunk whenever you want...
Bring your own food color and if you want it to be green.
You know, the reason I wear green is because of this social contract that we've all agreed to that you could be pinched if you don't wear it.
If someone pinches me, I'm hitting them.
I hate it.
Well, no, you're covered. Big Matt Chapman guy.
And I got this hat just for when we went to Vegas. The first time we went to Vegas.
Which was St. Patrick's Day.
I can't remember the last time I was pinched.
Well,
we can make that happen.
You don't have green on right now, so
we can make that happen.
It was bold of the Oilers to play the Dallas Stars the day before St. Patrick's Day.
That was an interesting choice. Yeah. And then they rolled out their green jerseys in the pregame warm-up to confuse everyone. Right, that was good. That was good. It was all green on the ice last night for the pregame warm-up.
They should have just played the game that way.
It would have been slightly confusing.
Smoking the green.
Yep.
Good point, Nick.
Did we notice that the Oilers have rolled out the same St. Patrick's Day jersey for 3 years running now?
I honestly never pay attention to that.
Yeah, it's that same picnic blanket pattern, shoulder tartan, I guess is what they would call it if it was over there.
Leprechaun-y.
Yeah, and then of course they match the Dallas Stars pretty well.
I just imagine Ryan Nugent-Hopkins look very handsome. That's all I care about.
Yep.
You know,
Papa Nuge.
For our friends at Oodle Noodle, 18 locations and counting. I must tell you, if you are in Edmonton, though, you can pop into any of those locations, grab a free Oilers Nation sticker, grab yourself something to eat. It's Friday.
Edmonton locations.
Edmonton locations. If you go into Calgary to that location, you ask for an Oilers Nation sticker, they will slap you in the face.
Someone also DM'd me and said St. Albert was already out.
Oh, that's good.
We got to replenish.
Yeah, we got to replenish.
Tyler went in there. He got his Tokyo glaze with beef. And he took all your stickers.
Do you know what's funny is I got home last night from the game and there was 3 Oodle Noodle tubs in my fridge because my roommate ordered Oodle Noodle. And I was like,
is that what you call your girlfriend as your roommate?
No, I have a roommate too.
Oh,
not my girlfriend. And I was like, I wonder what flavors he got. And they write them on the side and it's like Tokyo. I've got 3 Tokyos.
Just for the one roommate.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
He orders food for the week rather than going to the grocery store.
Meal prep?
Meal prepping in a way that's an uncommon way of meal prep, but I respect it.
You got to get some Oodle Noodle while you're in town, Nick.
That's the word.
We'll get you there.
I'm into it.
Tyler.
Yep.
Delicious debate. What you got for us?
Do the Oilers still have a shot at the division title?
Can you please give me a math breakdown? I don't know what the standings look like today.
I'm great at math, so yes, I can give you that breakdown. The Oilers right now are 6 points back of the Vegas Golden Knights. They have each played 69 games on the season. The LA Kings are lingering in between. They're 5 points up on the Oilers. Edmonton plays LA twice. They play Vegas twice. They also play Seattle once. So there's kind of your breakdown. If Vegas were to go, they have 13 games to go. If they were to go 7-6 in those 13 games, that would put them up to 104 points, which means the Oilers would need 20 points in their final 13 games. They'd have to go 10-3. So I'll start this off by saying it's unlikely. I think it's probably like a 20% shot is the number I'd put on it. But those head-to-head games, if those break your way and you get red hot for those 4 head-to-heads, all of a sudden you do have a real good shot at it.
How many times have the Oilers played Vegas this year? Twice?
They've played them twice and play them 2 more.
And they've won both.
Yeah, an OT win and the win when we were there.
Okay.
The challenge being for this one, they are back-to-backs. They go Vegas and then they play Vegas in Edmonton, and then 2 nights later they're in Vegas playing Vegas again.
Yeah.
So
They'll split. Yeah.
likely split. Yeah.
What do you think, Dan?
I looking at the standings. There's still, to me, there's enough fluctuation there that they could do it. I think that Vegas is, I don't know if they're as necessarily as fake as I've been told by other people that they are, but I would be more worried that LA would be hanging up there than I think we could catch Vegas. So I think it's doable.
Liam?
I'm just trying to pull up Vegas' schedule for the remainder of the season before I give my answer.
Like the Oilers schedule, while you're doing that, I can give people a little reminder. They're kind of through the shit sandwich they got dealt there for a straight month in terms of their opponents. Because now you look ahead, Seattle coming up, big game. But this month, you're going to get Arizona twice and San Jose one more time. And then to end the season in April, 2 against Anaheim, 2 against San Jose.
You got to mention the Oilers have lost to Anaheim twice this year.
I know. Yep.
Dude, those are trap games. Like they talk about that all over the radio in Canada. I'll say those are trap games. Like people are speculating how many points McDavid's going to get. Like there's going to be a couple losses in there that you're like, the hell was that?
But even if there are a couple losses in there, you should still go 4-2, 4-1.
Yeah.
Whatever that ends up being, 5-2. I forget how many games there were against those crap teams. Like you should still finish a few above 500 and rack up some points there.
Vegas, the Blue Jackets, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, San Jose, Minnesota, Nashville, LA, Dallas, Seattle.
That's so 9 good teams, 4 crap teams. Counting Calgary's crap.
Nick, what do you think? Outside perspective, can the Oilers
6.9% chance that the Oilers. Nice. What's up? How are you? I don't know how much they want it. Like, what does it matter, right? Like,
it's fair.
Avoid LA in round 1.
But still, like I look at the Western Conference and I just think every team's going to be sort of scary. Like even Winnipeg with Hellebuck, like any team that has a goalie is going to be legit scary in my world. So like, I don't think anybody's in a position where they want to pick their opponents, if that makes sense. Like, I think you just go about your business, do your thing. But I think Vegas has been obviously a revelation, and the way LA's been playing, like that's probably my pick right now.
I think I'd almost prefer, if it's not going to be Edmonton, I want it to be LA who wins. Cause then again, you avoid them in round 1, but you're right, Nick, the playoffs are such a crapshoot that like any team can beat any team.
Yeah.
Well, you might have to face that team anyways if they're the best team.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
But also the way I look at it too is I think about last year. Calgary Flames ran away with the Pacific last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened?
They just
They lost.
Playoffs are just a different animal, right?
Well, they almost got beat by
We'll see. You just got to get in and fucking who knows what can happen. Roll the dice. Let's go.
They finished 7 points ahead of the Oilers. Sorry.
I have the LA Kings schedule too.
Go ahead, Liam.
I'll count good teams and crap teams.
Vancouver, Calgary, Winnipeg, St. Louis, Calgary, Edmonton, Seattle, Vancouver, Edmonton, Vegas, Colorado, Vancouver, Anaheim.
Okay, I think I got 5 good teams and 8 crap teams, but I was
Run out of
struggling.
fingers.
I was just watching Tyler.
That's your
Yeah, you
check
ran out. I
math
thought
on
you were going
hands.
to pull the old shoes off there. Start counting toes.
Hey, that's not for free.
No. Dogs don't go out for free on this show. Well, they can do it. They need to go on a run. They need to go on a run and they need some luck. And the reality is the Oilers have gotten no luck really with the teams ahead of them at all. LA keeps winning. I know Vegas lost last night to Calgary, but like,
and some.
You know why it's not going to happen? Because Stuart Skinner can't play every game.
Okay, so like,
all right, who had the 9-minute mark for the first piece of Alberga Campbell slander?
Well, he walks his cat, guys. He walks his cat.
Where do you play him? You got back to it. You got Arizona, a game in there. You know,
it's actually pretty easy to find those spots. I'd play him against.
I play him against San Jose.
Yeah, I play him in San Jose. They're a little bit worse than Arizona scoring wise.
And I'm going to the Yotes game, so I would like to see.
I'd go
give more excitement.
He can start the next 2 Mondays because it's San Jose, and then on the 27th you get Arizona with Vegas coming the next night. So you want to save Stu, and then he can have 2 more starts. You can give him one of the San Jose games in April, and there's back-to-backs against LA and Anaheim. So you give him that Anaheim game. Boom.
Isn't it mildly scary that we're talking about burying a goaltender who makes $5 million a year?
No, Stuart Skinner's been really good, so we're not.
It would be an issue if we didn't have the backup that we do.
Stuart Skinner really
he's insane.
He saved
our season.
Well, I was thinking like a couple weeks ago, I think I brought it up on my show,
which is
Leafs Morning Take, Nick Alberga and Jay Rosal every Monday to Friday. Mm-hmm. It was more so like, did Stuart Skinner's performance save Kenny Holland's job this season? Like, if they didn't have Stuart Skinner right now, is Kenny Holland still GM of the Edmonton Oilers?
He would still be GM, but we'd be having a conversation this summer probably. Yeah.
Well, I know you would have seen him scrambling instead of to try and find an
Ekholm or something.
They would have done that Korpisalo Gavrikov deal, I bet.
Yeah.
So you're right. It would have shifted his mentality. And the thing for him that LA didn't have is the cap crunch that we were in. So he would have been scrambling to try and figure that out. Yeah. But yeah, it would have been a conversation in the offseason, I think.
Shout out to Stu.
I was going to say that.
It's just really all you can say. Shout out to Skinner because he really did bail the Oilers out this season. I expected him to perform well. He just kind of like that first taste that he got last year. I was expecting him to play well, but I did not expect him to carry the mail. Nope. I knew Campbell was going to be up and down, but this first season, boy.
Yeah, but
where are the ups?
You know what the X factor is though? Like Woodcroft, right? From the AHL. He knew his guy, right?
He does know his guy.
So that's right away. When I saw Skinner getting some playing time late in last season, I'm like, this guy's legit. Obviously, he's got the relationship with Woodcroft, right? And I think they obviously had that conversation before he was like promoted and stuff like that, right? So I don't know. Like nobody in their wildest dreams could have predicted this type of season, but like I think they knew what they had in Skinner before this all took place.
That's fair.
Jokes aside, Nick, when it comes to Jack Campbell, like, do you imagine that he gets somewhere closer to his career average? Like, I just can't imagine he sticks sub 900 forever.
So I was saying, are we calling it a newsroom out there? What do you guys call that? Playpen?
War room.
Yeah. The war room. So in the war room / green room / every room. Phenomenal digs here, by the way. Happy to be here. I mentioned that on my 4-hour flight in town, I was already working on my preseason rankings for fantasy hockey for next season. And I was sort of laughing where I had Jack Campbell. I think it was like 87. I'm like, oh shit.
Amongst goalies?
Yeah. No. Overall. Yeah. It should have been amongst goalies, but I was high on the I was high on the guy, you know. But Stuart Skinner was on my list too. It's just amazing the turnaround and the flow in that, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Because you're right. Coming in, it was like, all right, he got $5 million. Yeah. All we've talked about for years in Edmonton is find someone who can be consistently 905 to 915. Just someone in that window.
Yep.
We don't need the 930 guy that, we don't need Sorokin the way the Islanders need Sorokin or whatever. Yeah. The Oilers just needed 905. And it was like, if Campbell gives him that, he's going to win 40 games this year, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it just didn't.
I got long-winded there, but in short, I will say that I do expect to bounce back next season. I was getting to my rankings. I have a theory that a lot of guys play better in the second year of their contracts anywhere. Like if you look at a lot of players who sign polarizing deals, perfect example, Johnny Gaudreau is a guy I'll jump on next year. Jonathan Huberdeau is another guy I'm going to buy low on next year. More times than not, it seems to correlate that way. Obviously, there's rare exceptions, like Matthew Tkachuk's been Matthew Tkachuk this season, but it's actually one of the things I strategize for in fantasy hockey. So Jack Campbell is a guy I'll have at least on my radar because they need him to play. Like I was talking to my brother the other day, like, what can they do with Jack Campbell? Like they're going to give him a look again next year. And I think if it goes south, then he's Anton Hudobin 2.0 and he's playing in the AHL, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
I think they'll go get. Sorry to catch you. I think they'll go get a real good number 3 this offseason.
That's what I'd bank on
the week too.
Who, Keith Kincaid? Like,
it is. But you're right though, and it speaks to Holland's summer. He has work now that he's created for himself. So it's it's a conversation.
Great guy. I love those conversations. Great guys in the room, the goalies, but they can't make it stop.
These are great guys. Makes a nice guac, you know?
Exactly.
Really, really nice. Doesn't charge you extra.
The nicknames are just perfect synergy. It's good.
Yeah,
it's
Scoop
good.
and Stew. Come on. Buy a t-shirt, by the way. Nationgear.ca.
It's a good shirt.
I want to hear from you. Owen Radio Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Can the Oilers catch the Vegas Golden Knights?
Or maybe the LA Kings.
Or maybe the LA Kings.
Or maybe both.
Or maybe both teams lose out and the Oilers just roll to a first place finish. Maybe, Liam.
And maybe Calgary can make the playoffs.
Never. JB.
I got to give a shout out to our friends at Tourism Jasper. Spring. You want to do a little spring skiing? Of course you do. Head on out to the mountains. Liam, how much fun did you have in the mountains?
I had a lovely time, Bag Milk.
Of course you did.
The weather was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I had some nice walks. Went skating at the JPL, and I also went skating at where I stayed, which was Pyramid Lake. This was the best.
We actually have sent 4 of our Germans off this morning. They rented a car and they're headed to Jasper themselves. So I'll let you know how that one went. They're just going to check out the scenery.
Just a day trip?
Yeah. Just going up for the day and then they'll be back tomorrow for the party.
Stays like it is because it's beautiful right now.
It is,
a great day to be in Jasper too.
Alberga, it's your first time in Alberta. Boy, that rolled off the tongue. I'm sad that you don't have a day to go to Jasper because it's beautiful out there.
How far is that from here?
3 hours.
Not bad.
Yeah, you got an in and out trip.
Next time.
Or it's in the city if you check the NHL's pamphlets from the bubble.
Yes. Yeah. The bubble videos.
Yes.
Jasper's just beyond the river.
Glacial waters.
They would
just
never do that in the NHL. Would they? False advertising. No.
Tourism Jasper wants me to let you know, obviously, we're going to get drinking on the patio. The escape card is still available for half price lift tickets. Conditions are great. Spring skiing's where it's at. Just pop an Oilers jersey on. Get the slopes on. Good
That
look.
is such a vibe, rocking a jersey when you go skiing.
Great look. If you want more details, go to jasper.travel, see what they got going on there. I encourage you to go to Jasper. I can't wait to go back. It has been a minute. All right, let's get to the big news that everybody wants to talk about. Liam checked something off his bucket list last night.
Yep.
Arguably the guy's biggest fan.
I don't know. I might have
biggest supporter.
I was just going to say, there is a German on our trip.
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't buy a game worn jersey.
That's exactly it.
You got to meet Devin Shore last night after the Oilers game.
I met Devin Shore yesterday.
How was it? Because from my perspective, I saw the pictures of you, and I don't know if I've ever seen a happier individual.
It was an honor and a privilege.
Mm-hmm. How do you smell? Good?
I don't know. All my senses just disappeared for a second there. He looked great.
Of course.
Very good after the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was awesome. Just came up after the game to meet all the Germans, took pictures with everyone. I'm pretty sure he thought he was meeting one person and everybody else was there. So it was cool. I asked him why he changed his number. And he said, because he was asked to.
He was told to.
Told to, essentially.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
You giving it up?
You changed to 41.
So to give you a little peek behind the curtain from our German friends that did set this up.
Yep.
So yes, there is Lars Felker is the big Devin Shore fan from Germany. He came here and he wanted to go to the Oilers store and get a Devin Shore jersey, but they could only do the screen pressing, and that's what he can get in Germany. So he wanted the stitched version. Well, they said we have a game worn jersey here of his, slightly higher in price, as you could imagine. Devin's was $400. Yeah. Whew. And he's now looking at the Devin Shore worn game gloves as well as an option.
Yeah.
As well.
So anyways, he reached out to Devin on Instagram, not thinking anything would happen. And Devin responded to him personally and said, yes, we will meet after the game. And he set it all up. So shout out to Devin and to our Germans for just there's no barriers with them. They want something, they go and get it, and they've got it.
The most amazing thing about the Germans being in town is that they have more access to the Oilers than we do.
They sure do.
Met Leon Draisaitl after the game on Tuesday. Devin Shore last night. Can't wait to see who they meet after San Jose on Monday. I imagine they're going to talk to Erik Karlsson about waiving a no trade clause or something. He's going to figure something out.
I asked if they got Gretzky coming down. That's what I was hoping for. So, hey, we'll see. We'll just never know. You just never know with our German friends.
What are you going to do with those photos of you and Devin Shore, Liam? What's
You've got to get one framed, bro.
I'll probably get one framed and put it in the studio at home. The hat, I don't know. I got a signed hat by Devin Shore as well. So
you should
cool.
get it on a mug.
The
picture.
The hat?
The picture.
Yeah, the picture of you and Devin Shore on a mug.
That would be very fun. I do know someone who can get that done. So maybe. I mean, there's a lot of options. Maybe I'll put him next to the Queen and my Lego Banana Man on my shelf.
That shelf all of a sudden has become a power shelf.
Yeah, I mean, pretty cool. Kennedy was showing me some videos and I didn't realize I was doing it at the time, but it was like video on me. And then I would like look up at it and be like, oh my God, did you see that? And it was pretty funny. When I shook his hand, I was like, I didn't want to like interfere too much because like these guys come from so far to see him and I can see him whenever I want, really. Not that close, but watch him. And so I was like stood behind and I went to shake his hand, but he missed me. So, but I like awkwardly pulled back and then he awkwardly went to reach in again. So I just grabbed his hand and shook it. And I was
we have
like,
video of that?
Yeah, do we have video of that?
There might be some
we
context.
need to do it.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see that.
It was pretty funny. And then, yeah, there you go. Devin Shore.
You were beaming.
I didn't
like
know what
thrilled.
to do. I just thought it was funny. Like, how has it come this far? I just made up this little bit of Devin Shore. I do really like him. And now all of a sudden, the whole world collapsed on Twitter yesterday because I met him. Even my girlfriend was like, you've never looked at me that way before.
Nick, what do you think it is about glue guys that just like, there's always something about glue guys that people just, you love them.
Yeah, it's like even on my beer league team, I got guys like that. They're not necessarily like the best player, but like they're just so beloved in the room and they always seem to score like that gritty, like determined goal that just puts them over the top in terms of lore in the room. Like Devin Shore is a guy who's like scrapped it out his entire career, right? Like wherever he's played, pops up. And I think he was on Columbus for like a couple, like he's been everywhere. Like he's one of those guys like, and there's a reason why teams continue grabbing this guy, if that makes sense, because, you know, there's reputation. It goes a long way in this league and he can skate, right? It's a skaters league right now. So like, yeah, I've actually heard really good things about Devin Shore. I'm not just saying that because of this bit, but like I've heard he's salt of the earth and pretty much played out for you, Liam.
Our favorite Devin Shore memory, that clip of him after McDavid eliminated the Flames where he's jumping up and down in the tunnel. Unreal. That tells you all you need to know right there.
Well, my favorite Devin Shore memory was when Dan met him in Vegas and said, good luck. And he didn't play.
He met at the tables.
I ran into him, in the Bellagio hallway and I said, good luck tonight. And then I realized that he was a healthy scratch.
But to Nick's point, yeah, he's 4 seasons in Dallas, 2 in Anaheim, 6 games in Columbus. Then he's been in Edmonton ever since. So he's
how many NHL games has he played? 416.
That's impressive.
Well, and so it was just a couple weeks ago that he had came up from his second call up in that stretch of a couple of call ups. He scored a goal in the game and then they did an interview with him in the intermission. And it was one of the most honest interviews I've ever heard where he was just like, because it was Gene asked him something about the call up and going down and being sent up. And he said the players were joking with him, which is all fun in games. But for him, it's been really tough. And he just soaks up the moment that he gets in that time in the NHL. And so for me, watching that, having seen that interview, and then 2 weeks later, here's a guy coming out after a game where he didn't do much on the score sheet or anything like that. And there's 22 Germans and a Liam standing there chanting his name as he walks up the stairs. You can't tell me that he doesn't now just have a little extra bounce in his step for those next games.
Why wouldn't he?
It's so wonderful.
The Germans met Ryan McLeod as we're recording.
Are you serious? Yeah. Of course they did.
What?
Of course they meet Ryan McLeod.
I think they're at a mall.
Jeez. Man, the Germans are meeting every day.
Yeah, that's in a mall food court.
This is unbelievable.
So you guys meet Devin Shore last night, but on Tuesday after the game against Ottawa, before that game, a handful of them had met Tim Stützle in Fort Hall.
Yeah.
He did some autographs for them. He was very nice. And then after that game against the Sens, Leon Draisaitl came out and spent, I think they said about 15, 20 minutes just bullshitting with him. Like that's super cool, by the way, of the Oilers to just give a little bit of time to those guys.
Also, probably is kind of neat from Leon's perspective too, to be speaking the native tongue again and all that.
I was 1000%. As a guy who was standing there, I listened to the whole thing. I didn't get a chance to actually meet Leon. But when he came out, you could just hear in his cadence, like he came out lighter, and he came out with some kind of a joke that I didn't understand because it was in German, and the entire crew was laughing their asses off right at the start. And it just felt like he was lighter than anything you see in any English interview ever. He just felt like he was happier.
Well,
so
Spectre wasn't there. That's why.
That's fair enough. He wasn't pissy.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Germans, but they're getting some work done.
Yeah,
they are.
Didn't they meet some players before yesterday's game?
Yep, they have discovered the magic sauce as to find the visiting home or the visiting team. So they did have a chance to meet Pavelski, Robertson, and there's another guy they didn't meet, Jamie Benn, though. They were hoping to meet him, but they didn't get a chance to.
Heiskanen?
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah. And then they're going to do the same thing for the Sharks. They've already got it planned out. So
I'm guessing they're going to.
What's that?
Is there a German on the show?
Yes. Yeah, there is. There is.
Gotch.
No, yeah, there is a couple. There is a couple that they're interested in, and they're also hoping to meet an Oil King tonight in Hofstadter.
Oh yeah, they're going to the Oil Kings. They got a big hockey week coming up,
man.
Yeah, if you're looking for a place to hang out tonight, the Oil King game might be the place to go because the Germans are going to be there. So
They will make it a vibe.
Yes,
they will do it. They'll do their damnedest.
How was it watching the game with them last night, Liam?
It was cool. It was cool after the game. Like so I've been to many European soccer matches before, and it kind of felt like that a little bit with like, it was making up these chants out of nothing, just walking around the concourse. It was pretty cool. And like a lot of people were just looking at them being like, what are you doing? Like people were like very confused by it, but yeah, it was,
that's one thing. Cool. Like we need to figure that out. Like sometimes it's just boring to sit there. I like watching people chant. I don't necessarily want to participate in them, but like I like to watch it.
One thing that did
depends how many cocktails I have, I suppose,
at the game last night. And I will say this because I will not stand for it in both ways. The wave began moments before the Dallas Stars scored a goal.
Stop it.
It is no coincidence that this continues to happen in Edmonton. We need to stop this.
I love the wave.
3 or more goals.
Keep the wave.
Keep the wave.
2-0. Ban the wave for life.
No. They were up. It
Keep
makes
it
sense
forever.
to me.
You know what? They should have done a double wave after the Dallas Stars scored.
In the third period, you bring out that wave.
I'm charm out on the wave.
Nick, ruling?
I think it happens everywhere. I don't know. I just don't care.
Fair enough.
Touche. All right.
Whatever.
Moving on.
I love the wave. Give me the wave.
Keep it up forever.
If you're listening to this right now, I'm very encouraged to see what kind of memeing we can do of Liam with his photos of he and Devin Shore.
Someone did one where they blurred out like Liam's crotch. It's so fucking funny.
If he loved it anymore, he'd rip a hole clean through his trousers.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Trying to find this German.
Changing gears while Liam's looking for that.
Oh, there it is.
Tomorrow, the Edmonton Oilers take on the Seattle Kraken. Did you find it?
No, that Luke Cunnin isn't German.
Sturm.
Oh, Nico Sturm. Yeah. That's what I said.
He might not have been born in Germany.
Augsburg.
Oh, really? He was.
There you go.
I was going to say his dad would have been in the show. Yeah. He's related to Marco Sturm, right?
I thought they were separate.
Are they?
I thought it was a separate.
Never mind.
Sorry.
I'm going to look it up.
No, it might be for a side promo for me.
Yeah,
you never know.
sound effects.
Wow. A variety.
Oh, just wait till we get to hot and cold performers.
Changing gears a little bit. Connor McDavid picked up his 57th goal of the year last night against the Dallas Stars.
My bad.
Tomorrow.
Oh, fuck.
No relation.
No relation.
Okay, we can move on.
Dan did it.
We good?
Dan
yeah,
was right. Dan was right. What was his dad's name?
Yui Krupp.
What's Nico Sturm's dad's name?
Oh, it doesn't say.
It was Yui. First name Yui.
Tomorrow, the Oilers play the Seattle Kraken. We've got the Oilers Nation 15th anniversary party happening. There's chatter in the office of a squad bet for our friends at Betway. Mm-hmm. Connor McDavid's got 57 now. Needs 3 to get to 60. Mm-hmm. Squad bet?
I mean, may as well.
Just a little sprinkle.
Somebody has to. We got to manifest it one way or another. So it's either coming. I think he'll get at least 2 tomorrow.
How many points does he have against the Kraken? Do you know this?
They're really defensive against the Oilers. Don't they usually play defensive?
The Oilers have gotten him good once. I'm going to pull up McDavid's career number.
Go ahead and try and remember off
3 games against the Kraken this year. They've scored 14 goals in those. The one game they did lose, they blew a 2-0 lead because just fucking bad mistakes. PK sucked.
Classic PK.
Connor McDavid in his career has 5 goals and 7 assists in 6 games against the Seattle Kraken.
That's it?
With 5 of those goals coming at even strength.
How many of those were this year? Can you see?
This year, Connor McDavid against the Seattle Kraken has 3 goals and 4 assists in 3 games.
Wow. Time to double that goal output tomorrow, no? Get to 60? Come on. Tyler, you betting on it?
I'm going to bet on.
Fair.
I'll buy a round of tequila shots.
We're going to manifest.
And McDavid time.
What do you expect from the Kraken tomorrow?
Hopefully not a lot. A bunch of second line players skating around and doing whatever they can. And it's probably some very poor goaltending.
6-3-1 their last 10. Sharks, or they beat the Sharks last night in overtime.
German goalie, Grubauer.
Oh yeah, that's good German.
There you go. But they won't be
he
able to
doesn't
meet
play
him.
for San Jose.
Unless they're flying out to
So, they won't be able to meet him outside the JW Marriott.
Shocked.
Who wants to go there?
Actually, while we're just recording, they took a photo with Grubauer. What the hell is going on?
Big game, 4-point swing. Put a little distance between them and Seattle. That'd be nice. Even if it's just 3 points, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be huge. I mean, it goes without saying. Right now, Seattle
Should we just wrap up the podcast?
Seattle can still catch you with their game in hand, right? So you want to get to a scenario where in the last 10 games of the year, you can kind of control your own fate in that matchup. So tomorrow's a big one.
And the last thing we need during the Nation 15th anniversary party is a turd in the punch bowl that is a loss.
Yeah, that would be quite the buzzkill if the Oilers don't play good tomorrow.
Good news is they've been better in road matinees than at home. They're on the road. You know?
I don't like the sounds of a matinee. We've texted before about this business every weekend. What's going on here, BM?
I don't understand why the NHL just wants the Oilers playing in daylight hours.
It makes no sense. Like Connor McDavid is the best player on the planet. Why is he playing? It's usually 2 Eastern time, I guess, for us, where he's, or 4 Eastern time.
Yeah, before Eastern.
You guys. It makes no sense. Like this guy should be prime time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anyways, vent over.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're preaching to the choir here, right?
I do not understand it. Like, there's some things I do understand with the league, some I don't. Like Connor McDavid, I want like feature presentation when I can get him. You know?
Yeah, they want him on the TVs when the children's birthday parties are going on Saturdays. That's
bizarre.
That's what they're hoping for. They're trying to get the younger demographics.
The Oilers have had a ton of matinees. I think it's 14 this year.
Yeah, I'm looking.
And they always get thumped in those games too.
If I'm doing this off the dome, I think they're 3 or 4-1 on road matinees, but at home they get carved.
The splits are good. Okay.
I have it here on Hockey Reference. I'm just loosely looking at the numbers. They beat the Rangers earlier this season in a matinee.
In New York.
In New York. We did do a watch party for that one too. That was brunch for Ben.
Mm-hmm.
So they did get a win there. In the 12:30 starts this year, the Oilers are 1-2, losing to Columbus and Montreal, but beating Ottawa.
Just absolute marquee losses.
Columbus and Montreal. Good Lord.
In the 1:00 start against Colorado, they lost in OT. So that means they're 2-1. Oh, yeah. And in the 2:00 starts this year, they are also 1-3. So yeah, it hasn't been great, but you're right. On the road, much better because they beat Florida in a matinee on the road, got a point against Colorado, beat Ottawa, beat New York. So there you go. There's a very loose and rambly rundown of how the Oilers have done in matinees.
Preview of Oilers Nation every day for tomorrow. What's the keys to victory for you tomorrow, Tyler?
What is the keys? I'm going to say, and I think this was the key to victory last time they played the Kraken, let the big dogs eat. This Kraken team does not have the high-end skill to keep up with you. They don't have a very good power play. There are going to be games, kind of like last night, where Janmark and Fogle getting the goals, and that's cool. You need that. You're going to need that down the stretch and into the playoffs. But for tomorrow, let's just let 97 and 29 take over this game and show the Seattle Kraken who's boss.
Let the boys cook. I'm just going to say capitalize off Seattle's poor goaltending.
I'm going to say don't like the costly errors. Like we all saw in Toronto, there was 3 of us in the building for that. Like the giveaways, simplify, dumb it down, play a simple game. The high end skill will take care of the rest. Dan,
start it early. For me, the matinee issue is these starts. The Oilers need to get out there early and then keep their foot on the throat the rest of the way.
Like the Nation party, I'll be there at noon Mountain Time. I'll be ready to go. Start on time. That's the biggest.
We're going to be ready to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Right away. Puck
Pull
drop.
it together.
Yeah.
I'll have a double Caesar the minute I walk in the door.
Who's going to make you that drink?
Tyler.
Not me. I don't know how to make one.
You can
have a rum and Coke.
That's fine.
Yeah. What's your like expert drink you can make me?
Rum and Coke.
Tyler's going to be a high level guy.
Anybody walks up, I'm like an old fashioned rum and Coke it is.
That's going to be my bit.
Go up to Tyler and ask for a Cosmo, something delicious.
Ask for like
rum and Coke,
a martini,
a daiquiri.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Rum and Coke in a different kind of fancy cup.
A nice marg, maybe?
A pina colada.
Ooh.
Rum and Coke with coconut.
I'm going to ask for one of those, those big drinks they make in Vegas on the streets there.
Yeah. I puked in the Bellagio fountain.
Of course you did. There's way too much alcohol in there, man.
It was the sugar.
It's like Freeport.
We'll cut out the middleman. I'll pour it right in your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
The most important question, are you Mr. Freeport or are you going by the book?
Well, I got my pro serve, so I'm kind of...
He's regulated by the
Liam's
AGLC.
from Europe, they do it right there. Okay. Freeport. All day.
Yeah, well, I do it by the way the Alberta government tells me to do it.
Oh,
that explains a lot about you.
And if you have too much to drink, I'm not going to make the same mistakes the bouncer in the video did. I'm not going to tell you to drive home. It's not okay.
What are you expecting from the party tomorrow, Tyler? You've been to a handful of these.
Boy, I'm expecting us to have a good time from 12 until about 4:30 when the game's done. Be a really good time. And then I'm expecting a blur for the rest of the night.
Why?
Just a hunch. Mm-hmm. I also feel like at these things, I never get quite as dialed into the game as I usually do. So I want to try to set aside some time to really just hunker down in front of a TV and watch the hockey game. But
you don't ever do that on your own time.
No.
This is your first, Liam. This is your first big nation party.
Yeah, right? I went to game 2 against Calgary, the watch party.
Not the same vibe.
Not the same.
Hugged a random man I've never met.
That's nice.
That's
friendship.
You might hug someone tomorrow.
Probably.
Maybe.
Someone might want to hug you.
I feel like it. Hopefully it's Devin Shore. And I don't know what to expect, but I know my girlfriend said we'll be done by 5, right? And I said
AM?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe is the right answer there.
So we'll see.
Nick, you kind of got your first taste of a nation event last weekend in Toronto. What are you expecting from the party for us tomorrow?
More of the same. Just starting on time, maybe some nudity, maybe some theatrics, maybe an Oilers victory. You just never know.
Maybe some nudity. Could be. Never know.
Or not.
So me thinking back to last weekend to try to remember the nudity.
Dan, you got a lot of these under your belt. What are you expecting for tomorrow?
You know what? I'm kind of hoping and expecting a bit of a throwback vibe to when I first started at the Nation, where everybody is just going to be mingling and hanging out and having a great time together. The Nation personalities, we're all out in force for this party, and we're going to be doing stuff with you. We're going to have the shot luge. We're going to have maybe even some beerless beer pong going on at some point. We're going to try and have some fun with our fans. This is a party. It's a birthday party. We're celebrating, and we're so glad that we've been able to sell this out. There's going to be over 200 of us in there just hanging out and having a great time. So I'm really looking forward to it. And we got a ton of great prizing to give away too.
Lots of great prizing. Everybody that bought a ticket gets swag bag. Plus we raise some money for free play for kids. What it's all about.
That's the big thing. Free Play for Kids. What a wonderful organization working out of this city.
I don't have a number of how many of these parties that I've attended now in my 10 years working here full time, but tomorrow's going to be a big one.
You got to be in the centuries by now.
I don't know, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. But I can't wait to see everybody tomorrow. I can't wait that we're going back to the Pint. It felt right to do our 15th anniversary party at the Pint downtown. So it's going to be slammed in there. We're going to do a big day session. That's what I'm expecting. And it's going to be fun to see everybody interacting. I always like when people meet each other that they've never met on the internet before. So that's always
name
cool.
tags. We're going to have name tags, Bag Milk.
Yeah. So when you walk in, you'll be able to grab a name tag, put your Twitter handle on there, whatever you've got. We'll just meet each other.
Or everybody could put that they're Nick Alberga.
You good?
Just saying.
You good?
Why would anybody do that?
There's been a lot of bag milks at these parties. Sometimes I would walk around and be
imposter.
I'm like, wow, there's a lot of me in here. Suits me just fine. So can't wait to see everybody. Looking forward to it. Going to be a great, great day.
I think I'm going to pace myself.
Me too.
I want to make sure I'm around for the whole event.
You don't want to be the guy who's too.
You think you're going to go 6 to midnight between in 3-4 hours?
What, 6 to midnight? It's 3 hours. That's 6 hours.
Uh-huh.
I am. Well, I'm on the setup.
You can Google that one on your own time.
6 to midnight. I'm on the setup committee, so I have to be there from 10 a.m. Until 5 p.m.
Yep, 5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we get back to the hockey talk, we should quickly step aside for an ad.
Good ad.
Couple of things I wanted to touch on real quick from this week. Leon Draisaitl hit 100th point again for fourth time in 5 years. He would have done it in that other season, but it was shortened. It was the all-Canadian division season. Nick, from an outsider, like outside perspective, what is Leon Draisaitl to like outside? Because when people think of the Oilers, it's always McDavid.
Yeah.
He is so underappreciated, I feel, by anybody outside of this market.
Yeah, it's probably the word, because like I think it was NHL Network the other day said like who is the second best player in the NHL, and a lot of people put McKinnon or Matthews or somebody not named Draisaitl, and I still think it's Draisaitl, but I do think there's like Edmonton fatigue where McDavid has just been so exceptional that you sort of forget like Leon Draisaitl, his body of work, the seasons he's had. The numbers he's put up, to me, it's just incredible that they have not one but two players that like are putting up the points and they're able to drive their own lines, which I think is incredible too. So like that's my lasting takeaways. Leon Draisaitl is like a top 5 player at the very least, very least, right, in this league.
Tyler, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. I kind of went on this rant a couple of weeks ago where like we need to start giving him the same love, the same kind of power play love that we give Alex Ovechkin for a decade plus. Like Leon Draisaitl has his office and he makes that shit work. And everyone knows it's coming. Everyone knows where 29 is and everyone knows where 97 wants to go with the puck. And yet they still find a way to make it work. And Cam Sharon, who helps out at Daily Faceoff Live with some analytics, he actually said like the numbers on Washington's power play hasn't been good for a while. And he was like, the fact that Draisaitl is in his spot doing that thing and it's an elite power play, he said, yeah, he probably is the best power play producer in the NHL. And I feel like he just, yeah, you're right, doesn't get enough love for being an elite talent. I do think the Edmonton fatigue point is a good point, right? These talk shows and stuff, when people do it, when you talk about McDavid so much, you want to go somewhere else when being like, who's the second best player in the league? But I do think Leon Draisaitl would still be putting up these numbers away from Connor McDavid. I think if he was on another team, which I don't think he ever will be, but if he was away from McDavid, we're still talking about a superstar player.
I do find it interesting that people shit on him for scoring power play goals from the same spot, like you said, as if Ovi hasn't been doing it from the other side, almost the same position for his entire career.
Again, it's like a thing where people like shitting on Edmonton for stuff, but Stamkos does it. Everyone's like, wow, that is crazy. Ovi does it. And they're like, world class. Draisaitl does it from arguably a tougher spot.
It's like right on the goal.
That angle. He's got that big beaver burger flipper thing that they show up on the screen. He's got that. He's at such a tough angle for him to consistently finish those chances again when the goalies know it's coming. It's unreal.
Did you see him last night try to bank one in off Ottinger's head?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I thought he was going to do it again. That one that he did the other day, I was just like, he's doing it again. Dan, what do you make a Draisaitl hitting 100 for the 4th time in 5 seasons?
Well, I was lucky enough to be able to do it with all of our German travelers right there, and so it was extra special, I think, just to see it with them. But yeah, it's I guess it's got to be a little frustrating just for him and just in general to have that guy in front of you that just kind of takes those news clippings and it just makes it a little bit less of a story and it is what it is. But yeah, for us as Oiler fans, we just, you just gotta love what you have in both guys and give them the adoration they deserve for it.
Another guy I want to touch on really quickly before we move on to Ask the Idiots is Warren Fogle. My guy is on fire. To quote NHL Sid, our boy, since January, the Oilers have 2 forwards in the top 10 for 5-on-5 goals per 60. One is Connor McDavid. That makes sense. He's on fire. He scored 57. The other?
Leon Draisaitl.
Fogle.
Oh.
Warren Fogle, Tyler.
Fogle.
Man, that goal against Ottawa, when he picked up the puck behind the net, went end to end, cut through D-men, and then they scored right after, like, that was... 37 looked like 97. I can see why Jack gets them confused sometimes.
Once a game, I do that where I think I look at it and I'm like, what is McDavid doing on that? Oh, it's Fogle. And then you go back and then he kind of goes back to it and you forget it. No,
McDavid
not once.
For Warren Fogle.
Perfect.
You're not watching close enough.
Apparently not.
But the first 18 months of this guy being an Oiler, how many times were there back-to-back games? And again, I'm doing this as a good kind of point about Fogle. I'm not doing this to shit on the guy.
Shit on him first, and then we're going to put a little
in the first 18 months. How many times were there back-to-back games where you're like, man, Fogle's been good in 2 straight games? Didn't happen. Now Warren Fogle's been good in, I would say, 12 to 15 straight games. Mm-hmm. He's found this like level of consistency where even when he goes, and he did just go 10 games without a goal or something, it's still like he's hitting, he's getting apples, he's forcing turnovers, he's carrying the puck confidently. The turnaround in this guy's game has been remarkable, and they need it to keep going, because if this guy can hum like this in the bottom 6 come playoff time, he's going to make them that much more dangerous.
Liam? Coach, scouting perspective on Warren Fogle, please.
I think he's just attacking with way more speed than he has before, and he's attacking like very directly. He's getting to the middle of the ice a lot more, and he's doing something that we haven't seen from him from probably any other forward outside of the top 6 in a while. I think he's taken Kyler Yamamoto's spot in the top 6. I would give it to Fogle every day now.
Yeah.
So when does this correlate from, though? Right? I think it's all from the trade deadline. He got a kick in the ass. Yeah. His name was out there, right?
He got put on, he almost got put on waivers.
Yeah. So
there was talk of him being put on waivers when Yamo was coming off
exactly.
LTIR.
Like, I think whether players admit it or not, they read what's going on. A lot of them know what's going on. And that's the first thing I thought about when you posed the question, is just like, I think he realized I better figure this out, or I'm not going to be playing with McDavid or Draisaitl or any of these guys anymore in my life. Right. Yeah. So I think it was nice kick in the ass.
12th goal last night. He's one off his career high that came in 2019-2020 with the Hurricanes. I didn't expect that for the first, I'm going to say 50% of the season. I actually thought Fogle was going to get traded.
You guys hated him.
I wasn't hating him. It was just like, you know what? He was just frustrating because you can see a player there.
Yeah.
Like when he's playing on his game, he's big. He's got wheels. He's got hands. And you're just like, man, you don't always have to score. Like, damn it, be effective. Like, get in the mix, cause some chaos.
Like there was that stretch earlier this year where he got healthy scratched for a couple, came back for, I think it was like 3 games, and it was like no shots, no hits.
Yeah.
And then he got healthy again. And it was like, dude, how much more of a wake-up call do you need? But like you said, Nick, ever since his name started getting seriously thrown around the trade conversation, he's picked it up.
Those are the guys you need in the playoffs, though, right? Like, I know, we'll get to the postseason. Everybody's going to talk about 97, 29, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins. But like, I sometimes think you need that goal from like a Fogle, like your bottom 6, like Ryan McLeod, who's from nearby where I live. Like, you need those types of players to score monumental goals. It doesn't matter what your big boys do. And I look at Fogle, like I guarantee you if Edmonton goes on a substantial run, he's going to score at least 1 big goal.
Yep.
Like that's fair to say, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And like last night's win, depth goals, really. Yeah. 2 from Janmark.
It's the Janmark game.
The Janmark game. The Janmark revenge game. Mm-hmm. The Fogle gets 1. Nice pass by Nugent Hopkins, by the way. Set him up for the tap in.
So that was also a great pass by Bouchard to not just like throw it on net, but to have in that little split second, like pulls it back to shoot. Then is like, wait, there's a play here. Cause he totally sees that backdoor kind of bang, bang movement. And he starts it with the nice pass to Nuge.
Dan, wrap us up on McLovin.
Yeah, I think that like I said before, once a game, I'm confused as to, is it McDavid? Is it Fogle? That moment makes you think there is that player there, but God damn it, if it wasn't there for the first, 80% of his contract. And yeah, it's just wonderful to see it now from a guy that, again, was a player that was on his way out the door somehow. And now he's made himself inexpendable. He can't be taken out of the lineup at this point.
Want to give some love to our friends at AMA Travel. If you got something coming up this summer and need a little help, reach out to AMA Travel. Tyler, you're going on a vacation. You've used AMA Travel to help you get it put together.
Yeah. And if me and you were talking about maybe going to see Drake in an out-of-town city, know who we'd be using to book it.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Hotels, flights.
They got it all.
Got it all. AMA
Next year's
Travel.
Nation vacations are going to be lit as well.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for the schedule to come out so that we can start planning the Nation vacations for next year.
When does it usually come out?
July?
Middle of July, yep.
Right?
Like late July, yeah.
Something like that?
Or no, even maybe early July, like right after. I think it's right after free agency.
Ask the Idiots, boys. I got 4 questions for you today. Nick, for what Ask the Idiots is, people submit these. They slide on into my DMs. The boys haven't seen these questions. They just give their first take on it.
Congratulations on joining the Idiots.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very important question to start, Dan. Soft shell or hard shell tacos?
Soft.
I like a hard shell taco.
You know what? It is fun though, putting the hard shell inside the soft shell.
Oh, that's just
but
a cheesy
that was the
gordita crunch.
question.
I know.
The only reason why I don't like it, it's too messy. Like it cracks and it's over.
Yep.
It's ball game over. I hate
You know what
that
I like
shit.
to do? I'm legit. I'll put like an empty tortilla down and then I just let it fall bonus taco.
Smart.
You know what I've actually started doing as well is instead of the hard shell taco, like Doritos tacos from Taco Bell are legit. Yeah. So I just go and I just commit to the looseness. Just go taco salad. Throw all the ingredients into a bowl. I take like half a bag of Doritos, crush them up, throw them in there. Boom, game over.
Taco in a bag?
Taco in a bag.
Nobody ever has a bad time with a taco in a bag.
Nope.
Doesn't happen.
I've never met anyone that has had a bad time with it.
Mm-hmm.
Good point, Liam.
Nick, do you think the draft lottery is rigged?
No.
Connor McDavid plays in Edmonton. It's not rigged.
Yeah, if I would tell you it's rigged if you ended up at Maple Leaf or something like that. There's no way. People are like Montreal Canadiens fans are still like I'm from Quebec, so a lot of my family like think it's rigged all the time. It's like they're like, did you see Batman's face when they got Slavkovsky or the first overall pick? I'm like, the NHL doesn't care about that shit, man. Like as much as we like to think they do, they don't.
Yeah, no.
If they did, Arizona would have all the first round
exactly.
picks.
They would have someone.
They would have Crosby. They'd have everybody.
They would have had something because they have been given Shane Doan, and that's it.
Yeah.
From the draft.
And now Shane Doan's
Josh Doan. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Is he going to play on the team while attending ASU? That's the question. Imagine.
Good. Quick walk.
Imagine.
Living on
He's taking class during the day at ASU.
Liam, do you think the draft lottery is rigged?
No.
I don't either. And it's Tyler's point. Connor McDavid plays in Edmonton. That wasn't going to happen.
What's wrong with Edmonton?
We just won them all before, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? It is rigged. Wherever Taylor Hall plays generally wins.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, like if Boston wins this year, I'm gonna have a problem with it. You know?
Where's Adam Larson? No, I know where he is.
Seattle.
I know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a question. You brought up Adam Larson. When the Oilers traded for Matthias Ekholm, I asked Tyler, I'm like, I've watched him play with Nashville a bunch, but what kind of player is he? Yeah. And what Tyler said to me is he's better Adam Larson. Do you buy that?
I do. And I think the one thing I think people don't realize, like he's really good offensively.
Mm-hmm. Way better than I expected.
He snaps the puck up the ice.
Like way better than I expected on the offensive side.
It feels like he's a guy that was stuck behind some higher talented offensive guys in Yossi. Yeah, exactly.
And other guy like Ryan Ellis was there for a long time. I think that's when they made the trade, I'm like, this is actually good for like Evan Bouchard, right? Because he can just do his thing on the power play. You've started to see the production pick up too. And defensive, like he's just a good all-round defenseman. Like he's one of those typical guys who never gets like the credit he deserves. And again, I think Yossi's a big reason why.
Guy's a stud.
Yeah. I love him. Great beard.
But stud on the ice and in the sheets.
If he was on MILF Manor, how well would he do?
Or clean house.
Yeah.
He'd be like that Spanish guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jose.
whatever that guy's name is. Jose. Yeah.
Stud.
Yeah.
Stud.
Come on. Tyler, coming to you first.
Okay. Focus.
Putting your Oilers fandom to the side. Okay.
Can you do that?
To hold it?
Can McDavid already be considered in the top 10 greatest players of all time? I think it would be pretty close.
10.
Hang on. I think it would be close since I don't believe you can really compare players from other eras. So comparing McDavid to Lemieux or Gretzky just isn't fair based on the style of play, quality of opposition, equipment chases, etc. Just overall better players today. Can he be considered top 10 all time?
I think he's easily top 10 already. And he's probably like this year is going to be the greatest season outside of a Mario or Wayne season, right? Mm-hmm. Like production wise, all of it. And you got to consider the era. People will be like, oh, but the equipment and the training and meh. Don't care. The era, it's harder to score right now. And Connor McDavid is scoring at an unbelievable pace. If you want to rattle off the all-time greats, it's Gretzky, it's Lemieux, it's Gordie Howe, Sidney Crosby, Bobby Orr, and Connor McDavid's in that conversation already. Top 6, top 7, whatever. All he needs is a ring. And
sorry to interrupt, but what do those guys have?
Rings. And Connor needs a ring.
Not have.
But if we're talking greatest players, not guys who played on great teams, you got to remember, right? Like Wayne and Mario, okay, they got the rings. Sid got his rings, but like sometimes I feel like we get caught up in the ring conversation and forget like a lot of those all-time greats won it when there were 6 teams in the league, 12 teams in the league, 15 teams in the league. It was easier back then. No salary cap. Teams would load up. Like it's harder to win now than ever, which is part of what makes what Sidney Crosby and that Penguins team have done so impressive. But he's easily top 10. There's just no debate. Anyone who says he's not is just out to lunch.
Liam, McDavid, top 10?
He is top 10.
Dan?
I mean, the person actually like baked it into their answer that you can't compare these people between eras and stuff. And so for me, you're right, Nick. Yeah. When it comes to the totality of his career, the conversation has to include the Stanley Cup championships, but we're not there yet. So if you're just looking at him as a play-based thing, I think that you have to say he's in the top 10.
Look, just compare it to the NBA, the GOAT conversation, LeBron, MJ, it's all about the rings, right?
1,000%.
So like, well, obviously I
Not
think
for me.
No?
Nope.
It's got nothing to do with rings.
You're a Scottie Pippen guy though.
MJ was in the vastly superior Space Jam.
Yeah. I can concur with that.
Thank you.
The second one was dog shit.
Yep. Thank you. As you were, Nick. Please proceed.
No, I was just saying like I guess I'll be devil's advocate because I love McDavid. Don't get me wrong, but I think rings has to be a part of the conversation. So for that matter, I will say no, he is not a top 10 player.
Connor McDavid is arguably one of the most advanced players to ever play the game. Needs the rings. But is he a top 10 individual player? Without question.
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah.
What are you humming?
Devin Shore is not on that list, okay?
I just don't think it's fair. I understand the ring debate, but like, what's 1 to 0? Like, I obviously has
Yeah,
one,
but
but like,
it's part of the formula though, you know?
yeah, I suppose, but I don't think he's like, the debate is like, is he the best? Because I don't think that's even close right now, just with the rings. But is he a top 10? Yeah, he's probably like 9 or 10.
But let me ask this: like,
Right.
what makes these guys great is the ability to will their team to victory. Has McDavid done that yet?
Yeah, but like Sidney Crosby didn't win the Conn Smythe in all of his rings. In fact, you could probably make the argument that he didn't deserve any of his Conn Smythes, that they gave him a couple at the end because the writers were like, oh, Sid needs it. Like Kessel should have won that one year. He was that HBK line was sick.
Yeah.
So I mean, hockey's just not a sport like that.
Tougher,
like
yeah.
I think it's different in the NBA when like there is a big game, LeBron plays 46
But
minutes.
there's few players. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And in hockey, like best players, best D-men are on the ice for half the game.
Yeah.
Best forwards are on the ice for way less than that.
Yeah.
For me too, it's the longevity, right? It's the totality of Wayne Gretzky's career that makes him as great as he is.
Yep.
Mario Lemieux and him have that debate, but Mario was robbed of so much time on the ice.
Yeah.
And so then he slides down below Gretzky in that conversation. So you're right. Just because we can't have the full conversation yet, but for me, yeah, he's still in that. He's going to be in that top 10 when
We're spending a lot of time talking about like Ovi and that chase.
Yep.
The next big debate in the NHL will be, or the big like watch, McDavid 2K. Will he be the second player all time to hit 2,000 points? But like he probably will if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
What's he at right now?
He just hit 800, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Without 2 stoppages for Ovechkin, would he have 1,000 goals right now?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because
Right?
probably. The other thing though is without that lockout, the rule changes not come
There's
in.
lockouts. There's
So that's
A lot of what ifs,
COVID
yeah.
shortened
and so that's
season.
where an Ovechkin and longevity of his career comes into it too, right? Is he the greatest
He's
goal
got a
scorer
ring.
of all times?
Yes.
He does have a
And
have
one
a
of the
ring.
things is just like he's in the back half of his 30s now, and he's still filling the net.
Mhm.
He's just not slowing down. It's wild.
You're right though, Dan, because he lost. It was a lockout and then a half season, so 1.5 lockouts for Ovi. That's
huge.
again, those were that would have been his rookie year, and then once in his prime, that right there is probably 75 goals. So that would have put him at nearly 900 already.
COVID shortened
So,
season.
This
The
pregame
COVID
meal's
shortened season.
insane. Have you guys heard about
No,
that?
what is it?
No.
So we had Devontae Smith-Pelly on the podcast, not to get off topic here, but there's this like, I think Biz Nasty brought it up on Spit Chicklets like years ago. So before every game, he has chicken parm with spaghetti, I believe, and he crosses sauces. So he has 3 different sauces of like pasta sauce. Like how does your stomach like take that?
As an Italian, does that hurt you?
Yeah, it's sad. It's embarrassing, man.
What are the 3 sauces that he mixes?
I don't even know, but like,
He's got an Alfredo in there somehow.
Gotta be like
Alfredo's in there. Yeah. Like
Alfredo, a marinara, and a pesto.
arrabbiata, like there's got to be a spice one in there too, but I just don't know how that's possible. But then again, the guy's the greatest goal scorer of all time. You want to open up another conversation. Where's Gretzky on that one?
There you go. The nutrition conversation.
Yep.
Because Bedard hasn't eaten fast food.
I don't buy that shit.
I don't mind either. Like you're telling me
bullshit.
You played fucking hockey your whole life and you've never had Subway.
Or stopped at McDonald's for 10 like nuggies on the way home.
And
or
if that
something.
is
Like, come
true,
on.
his parents should be put in jail for depriving their child
Agreed.
of fast food. If you
100%.
No Happy Meals.
It's freshy every day, Tyler. That's
like,
it.
when your kid's 8, you're like, no, Connor, we're not going out for Subway because you're going to the NHL one day. And what, take them
There's
home?
just
Fuck
no
you.
chance.
There's
in
no
hell.
way. I don't buy that for a second.
So do you guys believe the Nathan McKinnon stuff then? Where he's just a
I believe it.
Psychopath. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like that.
The nutrition conversation coming out of the NHL right now is fascinating. Like you got the Slater Cuckoo angle and the honesty there.
So that's the thing about like the GOAT conversation. It's so tough to compare. Like guys were hacking darts after games back then. Now they're taking like protein shakes. They're riding the bike. Like it's so different, right?
These guys that like don't drink anything other than a vodka soda when they go out. It's like, oh, got to keep it tight.
It's vodka water for these guys, man. Splash of Mio. You know, like it's different. Yeah, it's very good. Actually, lovely. Very underrated.
That sounds lovely, actually. Yeah.
I was at a wedding this summer. Somebody busted out Mio. I'm like, vodka waters rest of the night.
100%. Keep it tight. Probably stay hydrated the next day.
It was good.
Yeah.
I might do that tomorrow. All right. I'll go buy Mios for the boys. We'll just have a mixed bag.
Squirt them right in.
Get a variety.
We'll just
Can Ty serve that or no? Does that come with rum and cokes or no?
I'll look up it in my handbook.
Last question, Ask the Idiots. Dan, I'm starting with you because you've been the most nation parties other than me. Which nation staffer's wearing the crown tomorrow?
Oh, there is so many newbies for tomorrow's party.
So for all of you, what wearing the crown means is who will be the drunkest man alive.
Oh,
I'm going to go with Aaron. Producer Aaron is
it's my GOAT talk right there.
He's a good kid. He's got great heart, but I feel like he might get into it a little harder than
he goes pedal to the floor.
Yeah.
I watched him party in Vegas. He's going pedal to the floor. I like that pick.
No, that's a great pick. And funny you bring up Aaron. So I gave him one of those t-shirts I made someone make a trade, and he sent me like a selfie in the mirror. Like that just shows you he's jacked up. He's amped up.
He's ready to go.
He's ready to go. Yeah.
Liam, who's your vote? Which nation staffer will be wearing the crown?
Wearing the crown. I do like the Aaron one. Gavin came to mind, but I feel like Gavin,
he can keep it on the rails.
He's trying to get a job here still.
Yeah, he's like on his ELC. He's trying to extend.
You don't throw a pizza up the middle when you're on a PTO. You keep it simple.
I'm going with Waz.
Waz is a decent pick.
Waz is
a wild card.
I just remember him from other events like the Game 2 one I went to, and Lose Yourself was playing by Eminem.
Yeah, and he was rapping. I know you put it on Instagram.
Yes.
It's a good tune.
And I saved it on my
underrated
phone.
tune.
It was
awesome. Also a big Eminem guy.
I had that
huge
memory
Eminem
wiped
guy.
from my head until you just brought it back.
I'll never forget. So my go goes to Waz.
Tyler, which nation staffer's wearing the crown?
I don't know how I can't pick Waz. Sorry, buddy. It's gonna be Waz. And trust me, there are gonna be people there who are like, Waz, TikTok, let's have a shot. And he won't say no. Yeah. So like Waz, Sunday's a write-off for Waz. Don't bring it up, please. I can't watch the video.
Nick, do you have a vote on which nation staffer you believe will wear the crown?
Yeah, I think, I guess he's technically not a staffer. Jay Rosel, I think, is a guy to keep an eye on, but my pick is in this room. I hung out with him last weekend. Tyler Yaremchuk, I think, is a wild card. He had the blinkering eye last weekend. Like shit was going down, man. We had about 8,000 drinks together. So we put him and I together. It could be troublesome.
I'm actually voting for myself.
Okay.
Based on my DMs, there's a lot of people coming be like, Bag Milk, let's do a shot. Bag Milk, let's have a drink. Bag Milk, let's do a shot. So I'm like, oh boy. So my vote is actually for me. Or Tyler. Actually, I like Tyler as a vote.
It's the most arrogant thing I've ever heard in my life.
I feel like my parents are there, girlfriends come in. Like I'll probably keep it
as if that's going to stop you from doing anything.
That's a good point.
This is a monumentous occasion. Maybe Nose Nation staffer wears the crown. Maybe.
No, that's soft. We need somebody to do it.
I'm excited to hang out with Rosie.
Nick, you volunteer in his tribute?
I'll step off.
Or like an outside, like there's somebody like... You got an outside chance, Dan? Like maybe a Kennedy. I'm looking at her right now through the door.
But she's in the document.
Maddie, maybe.
Maddie might be a wild card for sure.
Because
Spencer. Oh,
Spencer could. You don't know who Spencer is.
Coming back to like, I think Aaron's the guy here. Like
Aaron's a great pick.
Have me back on if this happens. That's an excellent pick. I don't know. He's been talking about this for like months, man. Like I'll just get a bomb from him like every now and again. Like, hey, you coming to Edmonton? I was like, yeah, I wouldn't miss this for the world. So I think he's going to be on his best, worst behavior tomorrow. Not to mention we are going out tonight, I think, Aaron and I. So we're going to get a bit of a lather on to start, you know?
I love it.
Remember, boys, party starts early tomorrow.
Pace yourself. Hydrate today.
It's true.
Put a base layer down. Maybe pop in an oodle noodle. You know, Liam, nice butter chicken mac and cheese for you.
Some green onion cake and a nation sticker.
That's the base layer you need. Grab your nation stickers at the Edmonton locations as well. Let's wrap up the podcast, Tyler, with our hot and cold performers. We start off with our veggies every week.
Oh, Saturday, Betway has it at minus 1,000. I'm crushing frozen veggies when I get home. That's on.
Have you heard this?
No.
It's on site.
When Tyler's hammered,
Okay.
he goes home and the thing he makes himself when he gets home to eat when he's hammered is frozen veggies.
I'm not shocked at all. Like in his veins, eh? I get pizza. This guy gets veggies.
Oh, Nick, it's so good, man.
Little garlic, salt and pepper, butter. I did it one day when I was hammered.
So what do you like? What's the game? Like, what's the move here? Like, how do you like? What does he do?
So like,
Break it down.
I'm out. I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
Had a little bit to drink. I get home. I'm like, shit, I'm hungry. Can't go to sleep on an empty stomach.
Okay.
Frying pan on the stove.
Okay.
Dump a bag of frozen veggies on there. Bunch of butter. Let it cook.
Butter on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just a buttery, salty mess. It's not good for you. It defeats it. But the veggies, they're juicy and
It's like same as like making a stir fry then. Right?
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Without
It's like
the
a stir
protein.
fry with no protein or anything but the veggies.
So yeah, you're fucked. Yeah. Can we say that on this?
Yes, you may. Dan, we start off with our veggies. Let's look at the past 7 days of your life and pick a cold performer of the week. Daniel, what do you got?
This one's going to be easy and it's going to come from hockeyfights.com, Dan. It's going to the referees who just keep absolutely robbing us of goalie fights. It started with Phoenix Copley and John Gibson a couple weeks ago, and now it's come to a head with Marc-Andre Fleury and Jordan Binnington, who definitely each wanted to fight each other, but weren't allowed to. So for the NHL referees and officials, I don't know who's telling you to stop this, but I'm telling you to stop stopping it. You're my cold performer of the week.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Fuck them.
Liam, you're a cold performer of the week.
I have a double whammy.
Okay.
My cold performer of the week goes to me and the hangover I had last Saturday, which then led to me missing somebody drive through a wall at the Sherwood Park Arena. So double whammy on that one. I had a tough one.
Tyler, your cold performer of the week.
I was going to go with the no Fleury Binnington fight, but I'm actually going to give it to Frank Saravalli, who teased us. He was like, I might come for the party, Then he didn't come for the party, Frank. What the hell? I know air travel's a bitch. Don't care. You should have came. Frank Saravalli, cold performer.
You're as cold as ice.
Nick Alberga, your cold performer of the week.
I'll go with Ottawa / the refs. Matt Sogard. What the fuck was that? Did you guys watch that?
That was crazy.
That was pretty funny.
And then the worst is my boy Mark Mosier, the most annoying play-by-play guy in the league. I love Mosier, by the way. If he's listening to this podcast, I love
Probably
you.
is.
But
100%.
he erupted. He went off like the ugliest goal of all time, where they called off an icing. Then like Ottawa was just Ottawa, and then I think Comfort put it in the net. It was like the ugliest piece of shit goal I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I'm upset.
Why didn't they just blow that dead though?
What if you're Sogard?
He shouldn't have lifted up. But
controller disconnected on NHL, you know,
or like pick up the puck and be like, "What the hell?" Don't just be like.
It was just a weird play all around.
My cold performer of the week is I'm just tagging on what Dan said. Binnington needs to get his face filled. Like the fact that he's pumping up the crowd after the refs bailed him out from getting tuned up by Marc-Andre Fleury. It's embarrassing. You're embarrassing to me. And I really wanted Fleury to fucking fill you in. And the fact that it didn't happen really upset me.
Are you thrilled? I'm not.
Can we talk about how good, and actually maybe I'll quickly play it into my mic, the Fleury mic'd up.
Oh, it's great.
Like
shout out to the Minnesota Wild team.
Yeah, the Minnesota Wild put that out on their Twitter account. It was super, super good.
Because it feels like
we can give it a quick little listen here.
Let's go.
I love that. It'll be fun, no? Yes, Marc-Andre, it would have been fun.
He like literally sold the referees on the fans enjoying it and wanting it. Like, and that Binnington's been asking for it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like the goalie union has a group chat without Binnington in it. And going forward, it's like, if he does anything, we don't care who you are. You're going down there and beating the wheels off this kid.
The Lord's work, I like to call that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yes, please.
Somebody's got to do it.
For the life of me, do it.
And I wish I could remember the Minnesota Wild player's name that scored and then hype up the crowd.
Golinovsky.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Goligoski?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Flipping the ledger, let's finish off the podcast with some positive news. I'm going first because I'm selfish. My boy, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, is having a baby Nugent-Hopkins. He's scoring on the ice and off the ice. Hell of a year, the year of Nuge.
The big guy is smoking hot.
Bebe Nuge.
Ooh, daddy.
Daddy indeed. Tyler Hamchunk, your hot performer of the week.
BM, I think you got the name for this one, but we got some new 3D printed logos for our studios for a bunch of our shows, and they are wicked cool. We got some Oilers Nation logos that you'll be seeing popping up in our video content. Owen every day got some bagged milk, got a jug for his bag of milk.
Hold that up for me. Do me a favor. Put it on camera.
What does that cost if I want to buy one of those? That's sick.
I think I got 2 for $100. Not crazy, but they're 3D printed. They look super good. So that's one for better late than never that Tyler's holding up there.
That's incredible. If you get married one day, do you guys give like bomboniers out? I know Italians do it. Like that should be your bomboniere that you give out to your guests.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Shout out to Greg. Greg is who made us those. He did a great job. Really, really great job.
It's getting hot in here.
He's multi-talented. Greg the Egg McKegg.
Okay.
Liam, your hot performer of the week.
My hot performer of the week goes to Devin Shore for making my dreams come true.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
It would have been good if you had a Hall & Oates button right there.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear that song.
That's fair.
You guys heard it 7 times last week.
You know what the worst part is? Like, I really like that jam.
Yeah.
Like
it's over now though.
If
right?
I was at a wedding and that comes on,
yeah.
I'm boogieing, I'm hitting the floor.
Dude, that's
not there.
The probably the best debate we've had on Leafs Morning Take this season. I think I posed it in like a YouTube question. Was like, is it time to change the goal song? It is. Like Brendan Shanahan is the one who implemented that goal song. Nobody on that team, maybe with exception of Mark Giordano, was alive when that song came out.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. They all listen to like rap.
Yeah.
So that's why this team never wins in the Stanley
What's
Cup.
What's best goal song?
Best goal song?
Chelsea Dagger.
Chelsea Dagger.
I like the Canucks one quite a bit. I know that's old school too.
What is that? What do they have?
Don't you forget about me from
Breakfast Club?
Yeah. But it's like a it's a remix one. I like the Preds one.
What are they?
Off.
Oh yeah, the
sea
country music one. Shit. Preds goal song.
I like who is it? Philly that has "Let Me Clear My Throat."
I'd love to get your opinions on this because I do think we're trying to get more progressive and we're trying to modernize this game. I love the idea of like a personalized goal song.
Me too.
See, I don't like it.
I love it. Why?
It's 2023.
Because if Devin Shore scores a goal and his goal song comes on, the place goes nuts.
Yeah, it's like Baja Man.
It's like WWE entrance music.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah.
My favorite parts about the goal songs, or my favorite goal songs, are the ones where the crowd can chant along with it. Like I like the Oilers ones. Oh, and you can get the crowd into it. That's what it's all about.
But
and when you score, it's a team. It's a team sport. Damn it!
You're a baseball guy, though. I'm surprised by this for you.
You're why the NHL will never advance.
To me, it's like everybody's trying to find their own Chelsea Dagger because it just works so well in Chicago.
There's only one.
Where was I at? I don't remember now.
I did mine.
3D printed.
Nation Dan, your hot performer of the week.
My hot performer of the week is going to go out to the Germans. First of all, the 22 Germans that are visiting, but also, and I'll do it again for them next week, but is these Edmontonians that the Germans are coming into contact with.
Yeah.
You guys are all wonderful human beings.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for anybody that listens to this that has reached out to the Germans, has made them feel like they're at home here. It's amazing to hear. I get to talk to these guys every day, guys and gals every day, and they just tell me how much they love Edmonton, and it's because of you guys that are hearing this, that are reaching out to them and making them feel like they're at home. So Edmonton, you get my hot performer of the week.
Feeling hot. Feeling hot.
Nick Alberga, wrap us up. Your hot performer of the week.
I'll keep it local. Connor McDavid, but Connor McDavid at the Junos. Could you believe this guy can read off a prompter the way he did? Like, it's better than me. I was like, where did this come from? This guy's got no personality. Then he's at the Junos and he nailed the line. So I was impressed.
This is why I'm hot. I'm hot because I'm fly. You ain't because you not.
Couple nice backhanded compliments in there, but all right.
Yes. Should have been a Leaf.
We almost made it all the way through without it. We almost made it all the way through.
We'll cut that.
Yeah, we'll just cut that. We'll edit it out in post. For our friends at Tourism Jasper, AMA Travel, and Betway, and Oodle Noodle, thank you for being here for Oilersnation Radio. It was another great episode. Nick, thanks for just stopping in with us for today.
My pleasure, gentlemen.
Can't wait to see everybody at the party. If you're listening to this after the party on Saturday, hit us up on ON Radio Podcast.
Pray for us.
Who did you think wore the crown? I like that when we get out of context answers days later, you know?
It's hilarious.
I like it. Who wore the crown? That's what I want to hear from you. That wraps up Oilers Nation 56,000. Have a great weekend, everybody.